Hi everyone, welcome back to Begin to Code with Mark. We are going to work on our final video of the Tic Tac Toe app today. We are going to look at tidying up our code and making some more efficient functions and methods around what we've done. We know we've got some repetitive code in there, so we're just going to tidy that up and finish the game off, make it all nice. And something I think that we might be able to use in future apps. I was having a think about new projects. I mentioned in another video, maybe doing one of those picture matching games. So we've got a bit of a theme on the channel at the moment of games, and what I'm thinking is actually to build a few games and then put them all together into one big app. And every project we work on and every app we build is going to bring us forward a little bit in our coding. So let's get started with the Tic Tac Toe review, and let's begin to code. Okay, everyone. So the first thing I noticed when I reopened up Visual Studio and opened up was when I click Start, it actually throws up an error message. I can't remember doing it in the previous video, but there is an error. So when we see this, if we click No, it tells us at the bottom what the error is. The name player does not exist in the current content. If we double click it, it takes us to it. Now I remember right back in video 1, I think we had a boolean to switch between player X and player O, which we no longer use, and I've actually taken that boolean of our variables, I've left it there. Now I guess it's having no impact on the run, so the application still works, but we're not using that anymore, so we can take that out, and that's the first error fixed. Now, what else do we want to do? So there's particular repetitive code, I believe, in this section around comp win, and then there'll be comp defend and check win. Those three methods that we built are all using some variant of this for loop. So I think this is the piece which we can strip out and put into something new. Then when we call check win, we need to think, well, what can we pass into our new method to run this loop for a check win scenario, or what can we call and use in check defend to run it from there, and from comp win to run it from there. So this is the piece that we're going to strip out. I might do a bit of this off screen whilst I try and figure it out, but I'm certainly going to show you my solution to it. So I'm going to have a look at that now. Okay, so I've been working a little bit off screen, looking at the functions methods that I'd already written, and I managed to combine two of them. So I've got this playing combo, which I'm inputting a string into, CW CDWL. That's what the string is abbreviated. It's just the name of a variable, but it means a computer win, computer defend, and win lines. So when we call it, this method, we now have to pass in a string. I don't think we've passed in strings when we've called methods before in our code on Begin2Code. So on comp win and on comp defend, our code is now much smaller. Now comp win calls playing combo CW. It passes in that we want to play, or we want to call playing W, and we want it to go through playing W in a comp win scenario. Or when we go check comp defend, we want to use playing combo with check comp defend scenario. So when we look at the new method, we pass in our string, then we go straight into the classic for loop that we've had everywhere else. So it goes through A, B, and C, loops through, produces the total. Then if our string is CD, so if we're comp defend, then it's looking for totals in win combos or win lines which equal to 2, which means that there's 2 X's and no O in the row. And it goes through our classic code there and generates the comp select call. If it's a computer win, then there's 2 O's in a row and no X, so the total's 20, and it can go through and play that code the same. So running on this, we still have our game functioning. the computer takes its turn, the computer blocks us, or the program, I should say, and we can see if it's going to take the win. We see it comp defend working, so now I'll put an X in and that will win it for the O's, and O has won. If we go X, X and O all the way through, we should be able to tie the game, and the game is tied. So our game is still functioning. We have reduced one of our for loops by one. We still have check win to look at. The problem I've got, the difficulty I've got with check win is we return a Boolean, and on these we don't. It's a private void, but that is probably not a problem, I guess. If I'm just trying to think aloud now. So if I change this to bool, and the Boolean we call down here is bool win false. We go bool win false because comp select, when comp select it goes to check win. Everything goes to check win. I don't really see the point in, we'd be looping in and out of the same function, which is possible. So now we've got bool win false. So in this if statement, do we return win? I haven't done this piece before, so we return win there. We're still going to get an error because not all paths are returning. This else if there actually, this can return win. No, I haven't got them in the right place, mate. Okay, not all code paths return, so the for loop runs else on that. Thinks that there's no needs to put it outside the loop. But now I'm just returning false all the time on playing combo. Probably doesn't make too much sense. I think it will still work. Run it. No, it's not working. Right. Let's scrub that out. Scrub that out. Those are not working over the place. I mean, that's just. Let's turn this back to a private void so we don't return any. Run it. Make sure we reversed our code out correctly. Got to go there. There. Go there. Okay. So we got our game back. Yeah, I'm a bit confused about this check win piece. I know the code is repetitive there, but the Boolean thing is confusing, and the loop, when you think about it, we go through this playing combos into comp select. I really want to make sure you guys see into comp select. Then we always come down to check win, so we'd be going, you know, from one method to another and then back to another. A bit recursive, which is something we need to move on to. But yeah, I'm probably not going to change it today. I'm going to leave it where it is. I'm going to leave it where it is and go through and comment some of the code. Try try and tidy this up a bit because there's a lot of lines there and not a lot of explanation behind what it does. But I think the game is okay for today. I think you've got to ask yourself, are you happy with it or not? And I am. So I'm going to really tidy it up, comment through the code, and save it up. We're going to move on to the next app because we've been on, this is the fourth video, I think fourth or fifth video on Tic Tac Toe. So we're going to save this one up and get on to the next project. But like I say, a bigger overarching project might be to combine our games into one app. But I do want to get on to new things on the new app, and I don't just want to be back in for loops and if statements and working in single form. That's really what I want to go to on the new app. We want to move forward, so I want to show you. I'll try and code with you how we can go from one form to another form, and maybe have players insert their name, and we can take inputs from text boxes and things like that. We've only worked with labels and buttons so far, so I think it's time to move on from Tic Tac Toe. Let me tidy the code and show you that in the code review. I'll be back in a second. Hi guys, so as you can see, I've tidied up the code. I've created some regions. So I think this is in Visual Studio, or it's in C#. You can create comments, which you've seen with us doing the double forward slashes. You can also create regions, which you use #region, and then you can call it a whole name. And at the end of it, you can put end region. So we can use a region to group together, we can group together similar functions or all of our variables and arrays, say, as we've done here. So similar linked things we can group together, which is just a bit more than, like a big comment. So we've got a region, variables and arrays, and then in there we state these are our variables and what they're doing. So we've got button arrays, we've got integer arrays used to sum the 3 squares. I moved the 2 random numbers that we have in computer terms up here. I think it's nice to create all of our variables in the same place. And then the thing is, in this instance, in this program, we're using these 2 just in one very specific function. But in another program, you might want to use another random number generator in another function. So why create 2 variables? You can probably just use one variable and use it here. So we've got one variable just on the form, but we could even, when we get into bigger applications, we'll be creating global variables which we can share across. But so yeah, I've got all the variables at the top. We've got our count, and we explain that this is the countdown and the number of squares to play. So all our comments up there, I put our random number generator up there as well, in the variables and arrays. Then on load form, so we can quickly come and see in load form what it's doing. We're populating the buttons into the button arrays, and we're populating the winning combinations into the jagged array, and we run reset game. Comment that. Running reset game on load form. So that's that region. And then we've got the gameplay player X. So this is us. So our user click event is in there. We state this is where we identify the button. This is where we update the button when it's clicked. Then we go through the if statement. If we've won, if it's tied, else it's the computer's turn. So we can see where we're going through that. Then we come into let's go into the gameplay computer, because I actually saw some more consolidation we could do in here. I think in the turn before, in computer turn, I was calling, I can't remember what win combos was called anymore. And then from win combos, I was going directly and calling playing combo CW. We didn't need to do a function into a function to call a function. So stripped it out. Now we check for win combo. We now call our new function playing combo with CW, or we call to defend combo, call it with CD. And then down here is our new function which we see if we loop or defend, and this is the if statement to check defend. So that's the CD statement and then the CW statement. So lots of comments, and it's a lot tidier. I think we've got the reset game piece at the bottom there and explaining how we reset our game. And I've tested it through just to make sure the code is all working. So when we come back, I think what we're going to do, like I said, is create a few more games and then merge them into one big game app, which is going to have some multiple forms. So we can put in our Tic Tac Toe game. We're going to put in our next app, which is going to be our shapes picture matching app, which I want to make a bit dynamic as well. So already, I guess if you've seen this one, you can think, oh, well, he's just going to have, 10 boxes like this on the screen and we're going to click them and match them. And it's the same thing. No, like I said, I want, on every project we do, every app, we always want to move forward. So I certainly want some more user inputs. I think I want to go from a screen to another screen. So perhaps when we start the game, we input the username, and then we can say how many boxes. Do we want it an easy game or a hard game? If it's an easy game, we're going to have 10 boxes. We're going to match 5 pictures. The hard game, we're going to have 20 boxes to match 10 pictures. So, we can move through it like that and really try and advance ourselves, right? We need to push. Create a few games. I guess the nirvana is getting this thing to play chess with us. Well, I think the logic behind having the computer play chess against us will be really difficult. But a chess game where we control player A and B, I mean, I could see it's achievable, right? And we're not a million miles away. We do need to push ourselves. So I think that's going to call the end of Tic Tac Toe for now because it's getting late. I'm sorry I couldn't get the check win all tied into the win lines all tied into that same method. Really should be able to do that. It's a bit late tonight though, so I think maybe I'll have a look at it tomorrow when we merge this into the big app, which is going to come on the channel in the future. We will see that working, I promise. Like, comment and subscribe. I hope you've managed to code along with me, and I hope you've enjoyed the build. We see it working, which we've set out to achieve tic-tac-toe game with some intelligence that it can play against us, a bit like the website app that I shoot right at the start of Tic-Tac-Toe video 1. So I'm really pleased about that. We're going to get on to the new apps. So if you have, by the way, suggestions for apps you'd like us to build on the channel or you'd like me to have a go at, then send them in. This is Begin2Code. I am beginning to code. So I do need ideas for things that I can build. So if you're struggling with something, then send it over to me and I'll take a look and probably struggle with you. But we'll put it on here and developers will come and comment. Let us know where we're going wrong and help us out. So, I'm confident the YouTube community is going to help me begin to code and then help you begin to code with me. So that's the nature of the channel. I hope you've enjoyed it. Like, comment and subscribe. See you in the next video. That's it. Bye for now.